But yeah, the big breaking news from Oliver Glasner. He's just finished speaking to the media. Some huge news concerning both his future as well as the future of Marc Guéhi. Let's listen to what Glasner's had to say.
Oliver, it appears that Manchester City are stepping up their interest in trying to sign Marc in this transfer window. What's your latest understanding?
My latest understanding that the deal with Marc is in the final stages. I can't confirm a club because it's still not done, but in the final stages, and the result is that Marc doesn't play tomorrow for us.
And how do you feel about losing your captain at this stage of the season?
Oh, I mentioned it a few weeks ago when I was pretty clear that, let's say, every player, and depending on his contract situation, there is a price where a club says we want to do it, and when the player says I want to move on, a deal will happen, and it looks like that this happened now, and that's why, yes, of course, from talking about sports, but nobody in the team will tell you something different. Different is everybody wanted Marc to stay forever. Crystal Palace captain and playing here, but yeah, reality is different.
Have you spoken to Marc? How does he feel about potentially departing a football club where he's had so much success and he's been such a key figure for the club? Oh yes, I had a talk to him, but of course it stays between us, what we are talking. But I think Marc has shown it in the summer transfer window, has shown it the whole autumn season so far, that he was 100% committed to the team, to Crystal Palace, and yeah, of course I wish him all the best for the rest of his career, and he will have a great career. I think he's still at the beginning of his great career, and he will have a great future because he's a fantastic player and a fantastic guy. Does it feel like a sensible move for the football club, considering he wasn't going to sign a new contract, and for a club like Crystal Palace to lose a player like Marc Guéhi for free would potentially be a problem? I think this is what, for every club, is a problem if you lose a player for free, but that's the situation. I think on the other side, also the clubs are responsible for the situations because they are paying quite high signing fees for free players. So I think every club has signed a free player. And then, you can't point with your finger on other clubs and you do the same. So I think that's just the football business where we are in. And this is what we have to accept. And if you can't find an agreement for a new deal, these things happen. Yeah, but of course, every team wants to avoid this. Have you had any assurances that you'll be able to find a replacement? Because clearly there is enough time to find a replacement in this transfer window. Yeah, we have to find, and let's see. How have the players reacted to the fact their captain's departing mid-season? It was for all of us surprisingly this morning, and we had a meeting, a normal match day meeting. I told the players, yes, we're a little bit surprised, but on the other side, I told them, we sold Michael Olise, and it was the best season in Crystal Palace history, and we lost Eberechi Eze, and we are right now 4 points better than last year. With Eberechi Eze. So we always could cope with the situation, and we will show, and it's up to us to show that we can cope with this situation again, losing Marc Guéhi, and yeah, we will get somebody in, but every player who is here has our trust that he can help us winning games, and that's what everybody, and it's not a hope, because this is what everybody has shown. Of course, on the other side, you never want to lose your captain, but if these things happen, you have to cope with it, and that was really the mood at the training ground was absolutely okay. There continues to be a lot of speculation around Jean-Philippe Mateta. With the news that Marc is departing, does that make it even less likely that Mateta leaves in this transfer window? It's the same. There will be a price where Crystal Palace say, okay, 18 months left in his contract. We do the deal if JP wants, and if nobody pays this price, JP will stay. Are you confident that this can still be a really special season for Crystal Palace, still well placed in Europe, and the league position isn't where you'd like it to be, but when you look at the table, a few results and you can put yourself
right in contention to have a really good season.
Well, yes, absolutely. No, so now it's looking forward, as I mentioned, to the players coming back. So Jeff Lerma can play again tomorrow, and Dani Munoz had one session with us this week, so he will train with us next week and should be available against Chelsea. The same with Ismail Assar. This will give us more options again. We called back Dani Imre. He will be in the squad tomorrow, but right now the numbers of players is quite short. But we know the last couple of weeks, games, the results were completely what we didn't want them to be. But very often, and we're not talking about last game, but most of the other games, the performances were absolutely okay, and that we also could have won these games. And now it's, of course, when we need a few players back, this is what we just, let's say, and I had time to think about it, what happened in the last weeks. And then always when I get emotional, I go back and really just looking at facts. And then was an interesting also, when saying, okay, what's different to last season especially, and then which players were not available, and they were responsible for 70% of our goals, directly with goals and assists. They were not available, and we couldn't replace them in the way we wanted. So that it will be, therefore it's important that they will come back, and then I'm pretty sure that we will play a very good season. Yes.
It was encouraging to see Chadi Riyad feature for some minutes the other day. Is he somebody who you feel could have an important role in the second half of this season? Yeah,
he's out for 1 year, and to be fair, he was on the way to Nottingham playing with the under-21s tonight, and we called him back. So he will be in the matchday squad tomorrow after 1 year. Sometimes things come quicker than expected, and he's now training with us. Had one full training week in 45 minutes, did really well this week. So, could be.
And finally, from me, what impact, if any, will Marc being allowed to leave in this window have on what you decide to do at the end of the season with your contract?
Has zero impact, because my decision has already been taken months ago. I had a meeting with Steve in October, international break. We had dinner, very long talk, and I told him that I will not sign a new contract for Crystal Palace. We agreed at that time that it's the best to keep it between us, and I think this is how confidential we work together, that we could keep it between us for 3 months in the football times where we are in. I told the team today the same. Because I think it's important to have clarity, and I don't want to have this question and the players and what's going on, and we had a very busy schedule, and we thought about, and again that's why we didn't want to tell it, because we want the same. Steve and me, we want the best for Crystal Palace. So Steve has no ego for himself, and Oliver Glasner has no ego for himself. What's best for him as a person? So we want the best for Crystal Palace, and we think now it's important to have clarity on both sides. I think this is what the players deserve. This, I think, is what every staff member deserves, and I think this is what our fans deserve, and that's why I tell it today.
Considering the amazing success you've had at Crystal Palace, why do you not want to continue your work here?
I told Steve, and I'm just looking for a new challenge, and it's my feeling after everything. And again, that's why I told him in October, so it's nothing to do with the transfer window, and it's nothing. So all these rumors, and I hate if something is written or told that's not true, and it was really tough for me not to respond. And so it's nothing to do. We have a great relationship, and we're really always talking what's the best for Crystal Palace. And the reason is just for me, I'm looking for a new challenge. I haven't spoken to any other club, no interest, and I told the players, and I promised them today that I will give my best to play the best ever season in Crystal Palace history, to break the points record of last season. So we are now 4 points better than last year we were at this stage of the season. We have and we will do everything to bring another trophy back to Selhurst Park. Yeah? We got the draw today. We will play Mostar from Bosnia in the knockout stage in the qualification round in the Conference League. I had a look at the the tree, you know, the bracket. Sorry, yeah, the bracket. So will be quite interesting. You know, can play Strasbourg, Alkmaar, Vallecano, Fiorentina. They're all in our line, and but we will do our best, every single one. Oliver Glasner has no chance to achieve this alone. No way. Told the players. I think for the players alone it's tough, but together it's possible, and that's what I will do. Everything that we will bring another trophy to Selhurst, and again playing the best Premier League season ever. So a lot to do.
This will be my final question, and I always really appreciate your honesty. You're always so honest with us in the media. Crystal Palace fans had that amazing day back in May, winning the FA Cup, but today is clearly going to be a very challenging day because their captain's departing. Now they know the head coach is going to depart in the summer. Should they be optimistic about the future of Crystal Palace moving forward?
Yes, absolutely, because great people are working for this club, and what I experienced is that everybody wants the best for Crystal Palace, and that's for me is always, and everybody is aligned and giving his best. It doesn't mean that every decision is the right one, and it's the same for in the sports and everywhere. But I know that this club is in great hands. You say the same in English? Yeah. Where everybody wants the best for Palace, and yes, this is football, and I think not just today. You know, we sometimes see how, let's say, the best days, FA Cup final, and maybe the worst days since I'm here in Macclesfield, is within 6 months. That's what you have to deal in football, and that's sometimes really challenging for everyone, for every player, for every manager, for every chairman. But when you work together, and this is the same, and you know, it's in all the transfer activities, I'm 100% involved. We're always talking about, and that's what I was always mentioning. You know, it's my advice, and then it's about Crystal Palace's future. And I know this club will move forward definitely. And maybe today it doesn't feel like this, but I know behind the scenes everybody's working really hard to get the positivity back. And I think the best contribution we can do, the team, by winning tomorrow against Sunderland, and this is what we will try.
Thanks, Oliver.
Thank you. And sorry, and then after this, I won't answer any question about my future. So it's really, I want to say this. That's why I said, okay, clarity for everyone. But I'm Crystal Palace manager. I will always talk about Crystal Palace issues, but not about anything else.